And while Samples was spreading the ball around, Daniel Blevin seemed to be his main target. He came up just 9 yards short of tying the receiving yardage record with 8 catches for 262 yards. The sport of football is not the only game in town in this particular region of the state. The sport of soccer is growing, and it's growing at West Wilkes High School. They are really enjoying a lot of success in just their 4th year of existence.
The West Wilkes soccer team started off the year in a very familiar situation. They lost. But since that first game of the season, they've rolled through their opponents, racking up 16 straight victories, earning the team their first ever conference championship. One of the reasons for the Blackhawks' success on offense has been Darren Bedbetter, who recently moved to the area from South Africa.
Just teamwork, the whole team's really worked together. I just managed to get lucky and finish them off. But like the defense, like Joseph says, they work hard. Everyone in the field works hard. And I guess that's the key.
Dream come true. This is what we've worked for since our freshman year. We've all been really good friends and just hung out and played lots of soccer together, and we just enjoy one another.
The soccer program at West Wilkes was started only 4 years ago, and since that first season, the team has grown both in skill and in wins. After the first season, which the Blackhawks could only muster up 2 ties, they have slowly racked up the wins. Last season, they finished at 500 and nearly made the playoffs. 4 seniors on this year's squad went through those growing years, and they're finally seeing those early efforts pay off.
We started with 8 players the first practice. We didn't know if we were going to field a team, and 5 of these guys were in the 8. Since then, it's every year they've gotten better and better, and we've added good players, good athletes. I mean, everything that has happened has really been because the guys have worked that hard.
I didn't even know how tough it was then. Now that I think about it, I don't know how I made it through it some of those times. But we just stuck it through, did our best, and improved.
As you can imagine, this year's team has several special players, but maybe more so are the seniors from this year's squad, who have been with Coach Jim Caudle's team since the beginning. In May, those seniors, the last of the original players, will graduate from the school and the soccer program.
These 5 are like sons to me. We've been through a lot. The thing that started this season that I dreaded the most was the last workout.
Now we got this out. I think it's been the core group of seniors thrown in, added some good guys coming in each year, some hard workers, and we've all worked hard.
He's a hard-working coach. He devotes a lot of time into this program. I think not as much as everybody thinks, and it'll always be a good program with Dad working on it.
Like every team in the state, winning is the only goal. It is for this year's squad as well. But even if they can't achieve that goal, the Blackhawks of West Wilkes are definitely a team that will be flying high for years to come. In Millers Creek, Chris Tynan, High School Extra.
And with that conference championship already in hand, the next challenge for the Blackhawks, of course, is the state playoffs. You know, I've been really examining these leaves, trying to figure out if they have some sort of magnetic power. They must, because literally thousands of people will drive along the Blue Ridge Parkway to check out the colors. Maybe I'll pass this along to the science department. Anyway, we've reached another timeout here on the Extra. Coming up, a brand new feature for you. It's our Game of the Week. Plus, we'll have the story on a kid from Winston-Salem Parkland High School who is truly, truly multi-dimensional. Those stories and a lot more as this week's edition of the Extra rolls on.
Now that it's summer, we thought you'd like to know what all of your girlfriends are eating. Wendy's Fresh Stuffed Pitas.
Hi.
Full of the delicious things like fresh vegetables and chunks of chicken that you feel good about.
May I take your order, please?
I think I'll have a pita.
Wendy's Fresh Stuffed Pitas. Feel good.
It works for me.
yet stronger. More power from less space. More space from less size. A drag coefficient among the lowest in the world. There's more than a pattern emerging here. It's the world's first use of cyber synthesis, where vehicles are designed, built, and tested in the virtual world so they'll perform better in the real world. The new Durango and the new Intrepid. New vision from the new Dodge.
Welcome back to the Extra, everybody. I'm Kevin Conley. We have moved to high atop Grandfather Mountain, which is the highest point along the Blue Ridge Mountains. I am currently standing on the swinging bridge, which is 1 mile above sea level. And the way the wind is blowing today, you can bet I can feel this bridge swinging back and forth. Time now for a new feature here on the Extra. It's called our Game of the Week.
What was described as the game of the year in Gaston County was merely homecoming for the 5th-ranked Kings Mountain team, which played host to the 9th-ranked Cavaliers from East Rutherford. Both teams were undefeated in Southwest Conference play, but East Rutherford had the edge in the standings with one more conference win. Kings Mountain came out swinging on defense, stopping the East Rutherford offense cold. But East wasn't to be outdone. Their defense came out big several times as well. Brian Logan with the sack here kept both squads in a defensive struggle, knotting the score at 0 after 1 quarter of play. In the second quarter, East Rutherford capitalized on several Kings Mountain mistakes to move the ball downfield. Then, after a pass interference call on 3rd and 10, the Cavaliers had an opportunity to get on the scoreboard first with a 35-yard field goal attempt by Dan Bjornstad. But the kick sails wide right, and the Mounties took over on the 18. 8 plays later, quarterback Anthony Ash would find Kendrick Bell streaking down the left sideline for a 37-yard touchdown, and the Mountaineers took a 7-0 lead into the half. East Rutherford came out on fire in the second half. On just their second play from scrimmage, senior Dante Wood hooked up with Jeremy Russell running down the middle of the field, and the Cavaliers erased their goose egg with a 67-yard touchdown, tying the score again at 7. The Mountaineers came running back, however. Anthony Ash kept the ball and ran to the left side and into the end zone, putting the Mountaineers up 14-7 with more than 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Kings Mountain put the game in their defense's hands, and they do not drop it. Landon Benton's second pick of the night dashed all hopes the Cavaliers may have had, and Kings Mountain held on to an airtight 14-7 victory over the 9th-ranked East Rutherford Cavaliers.
The Game of the Week has been brought to you by the North Carolina Prep Football News. Each week, subscribers are given the inside facts and figures of North Carolina high school football. Top individual performers, state leaderboard, the Baker's Dozen weekly poll, and fabulous Freddie Farkle's Fearless Friday football forecast, and much, much more.
And you can look for that Game of the Week feature each and every week here on the Extra. If it looks like we're a little cold today, it's because we are. It is only 37 degrees high atop Grandfather Mountain, without a doubt. Winter is right around the corner. Well, we've reached another time out here on the High School Extra. Coming up next, we'll take a look at a man who has been writing about North Carolina high school football for 30 years. That's a lot of dedication. We'll have that story and a lot more as the Extra rolls on. Stay with us.
Why haven't I seen this before? Did you write this?
Yes, I did.
Where did you get these smashing ideas?
Here and there.
Super. People, meet our new vice president and your new boss.
Tracy.
Oh, wow. This pita is good.
When something tastes as good as Wendy's Fresh Stuffed Pitas, filled with all those wonderful things start to happen. Wendy's Fresh Stuffed Pitas. Feel good.
Gatorade. Is it in you? Lighter yet stronger. More power from less space. more space from less size, a drag coefficient among the lowest in the world. There's more than a pattern emerging here. It's the world's first use of cyber synthesis, where vehicles are designed, built, and tested in the virtual world so they'll perform better in the real world. The new Durango and the new Intrepid. New vision from the new Dodge.
Welcome back to the Xtra, everybody. Another one of the featured attractions here at Grandfather Mountain. They have a small zoo with animals natural to this area, including the black bear. I think I'll stay on this side of the fence. Anyway, time now to take a look at a man who has been following North Carolina high school football for some 30 years. Bud Smith has his story.
Bet that Arnold Solomon will be attending. You see, Solomon isn't just a fan of Friday night action, he's taken his passion for the game to the next level. Back in high school, he started writing about football on the high school level to give himself a competitive edge in newspaper contests. And nowadays, well, his experimentation with writing has turned into a full-blown career.
I used to do college and pro. Again, there's a lot of people out there doing college and pros. And I did not find myself that much more competitive. But in doing the high school, it's just a great feeling to be around these young people, helping to promote them, just seeing the smile on their face, the satisfaction of achievement. I just get something out of being a part of it and being there.
In 1986, Solomon took his interest in high school football a bit further by publishing the North Carolina Prep Football Newsletter. 4 years later, Solomon and family had another idea, and that was to publish an annual yearbook before each individual football season. The magazine showcases every high school football team in the state of North Carolina. Both publications have turned into quite a family affair.
My grandson, Michael, he does the stamps and the address labels on the newsletters when I'm not around. He pitches in and helps. Greg takes care of all my computer work. He's my son. And my wife, she handles the business side, takes all the phone calls. And it's just been a family effort.
A big part of the weekly newsletter is the game picks of the week. The formula for the power rankings is a family secret, I might add, and until recently, only Arnold knew the exact workings of the formula.
As I had mentioned to someone recently, it's like Coca-Cola has their formula, and Arnold Solomon has his formula. He has begun teaching it to, or I say he, myself, I've begun teaching it to my youngest son, Greg. I don't think he has it completely yet, but I do have it written down in case anything were to happen, of course. It's very realistic. As I may have mentioned a moment ago, I hit 82% of all picks last year.
The North Carolina Prep Football News Yearbook has grown in popularity since its inception 8 years ago, becoming the main source of information for the fans of high school football. If you don't believe me, just take a look. In Kannapolis, Bud Smith, High School Extra.
Alrighty, Bud, thank you very much. Now, here at the Extra, we always like to find that different story and leave it to Jim McSorley to find it. At Parkland High School in Winston-Salem, there's a football player that can hit running backs as well as high notes.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
It's not often you see a linebacker hitting high and low notes before a game. Brandon Lucas plays football for Winston-Salem's Parkland High School. He also wrestles and plays baseball. But more than sports, music motivates Brandon.
It's easy for me to express my emotions. Some of the songs we do in there is a sad kind of piece, and it lets me go. That's the way I feel. Then that's the way I'm going to sing. When they sing the upbeat songs, then I'm just happy and I let it all out.
Brandon's coaches say he's an inspiration to his teammates and classmates.
He's a friend to all of the kids. It's pretty obvious that he's well liked and that, he was elected homecoming king. He has a whole lot of energy, but at the same time, he's focused on being a youth minister, and, in that role, I think, he can really do a good job of serving people, and especially, the needs of young people.
Brandon's teammates have a little fun helping him get in the spirit of his singing and religion.
They will just pick on me. They'll start singing notes, and it's horrible. It's horrible. But, you know, I sit there and laugh with them. They call me preacher, and my coach tells me not to read the Bible before I go out to practice. So I'll hit a little harder, get a little more aggressive. But I don't think that's going to work.
What works for Brandon is his desire to be a leader.
And I want everybody to look up to me someday.
Jim McSorley, High School Extra.
And don't you get the impression he'll be successful in no matter what he chooses to do with his life? Now you see behind me 2 bald eagles. They were injured out west but saved by people who truly wanted to make a difference. Speaking of making a difference, coming up next, our Coach Who Makes a Difference feature. She's from down east, and not only does she have an impact on her own athletes, but athletes throughout the state of North Carolina. That story is coming up. Stay with us as the Extra rolls on.
Time now for this week's Wendy's High School Heisman. From Elkin High School, it's Andrew Ballard. Andrew has a bevy of awards and accomplishments. He currently has a 4.79 grade point average on a 4.0 scale due to his honors courses. That ranks him #1 in his senior class of 91. He's president of the Student Council, a peer tutor, a member of the Students Against Drunk Driving Club, and is a National Merit semifinalist, among many other awards.
Andrew, on behalf of the Wendy's in North Carolina, I want to congratulate you on being a finalist in the Wendy's High School Heisman Award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Most of what I do comes from my parents. They've always taught me to do things a certain way, to do things what I thought would be the right way, and to make the most out of myself.
Congratulations to Andrew Ballard from Elkin High School, this week's Wendy's High School Heisman.
Now that it's summer, we thought you'd like to know what all of your girlfriends are eating. Wendy's Fresh Stuffed Pitas.
Hi.
Full of the delicious things like fresh vegetables and chunks of chicken that you feel good about.
May I take your order, please?
I think I'll have a pita.
Wendy's Fresh Stuffed Pitas. Feel good.
It works for me.
Gatorade. Is it in you? Lighter yet stronger. More power from less space. More space from less size. A drag coefficient among the lowest in the world. There's more than a pattern emerging here. It's the world's first use of cyber synthesis, where vehicles are designed, built, and tested in the virtual world so they'll perform better in the real world. The new Durango and the new Intrepid. New vision from the new Dodge.
Welcome back to the Extra, everybody. We have moved inside the Mast General Store in Valley Cruces, North Carolina. It originally opened in 1883 and still functions today as a general store. It's also a very popular stop for tourists in this area, as they can get a very, very good glimpse of North Carolina history. It's good to know that some things never change. Now, something that hasn't changed at Williamston High School for a long time is Peggy Taylor. She has been there for some 21 years, and she's our coach who makes a difference. Ever since she began coaching in the mid-70s, Peggy Taylor has seen and done just about all there is to do in women's sports. She's coached basketball, tennis, both slow and fast-pitch softball, and recently added volleyball to her repertoire. In fact, it's that versatility that has led her to helping kids for the past 25 years.
Well, it gives you an opportunity to see the kids in a lot of different ways in different areas. A kid in softball might be the predominant kid, where in volleyball they might play a less predominant role. I mean, they might not be the most athletic or the best player on the team. So it gets to see a kid in a different way, in a different sport. Each one of them required different levels of competition. So, you know, you just get to see kids in a lot of different ways.
But the athletes at Williamston aren't the only students whose lives have been affected by Coach Taylor. Peggy is also a facilitator in the Student Services Program at the NCHSAA, where she's involved in programs such as ABLE, a leadership program for administrators, SASSY, the Student Athletic Summer Institute, and ALDO, the Athletic Leadership Development Opportunity Program. But keeping a full plate is what Peggy Taylor does best.
You keep a planner and you stay very busy and you have to plan ahead. It doesn't let you get very old very quick.
But with Taylor's other job, she doesn't lose focus on what's important to her athletes.
Well, I don't have time to count gray hair, and the years kind of go by a little bit quicker, so that's not a good part. But they don't let you get stale. I mean, you have to constantly be on your toes. They require that. They expect that.
And keeping on her toes has been a big part of Coach Taylor's success over the years, whether it's been in basketball, softball, or volleyball. But she hasn't developed something new and innovative that the rest of the world doesn't know about, but rather it's the formula that many veteran coaches use to find that success.
After you've been in 25 years, I mean, you've seen it all on video, so it's no great coaching technique. It's just, working with kids, enjoying being around kids, and the kids have made me successful. I mean, they make you want to be here.
And being a veteran coach for the past 25 years at Williamston and helping athletes across the state is what makes Peggy Taylor a coach who makes a difference. And Peggy, we appreciate all that hard work. And at the Mass General Store, you can come out the back door, off the porch, and down these stairs, and wow, look at that beautiful view of the mountains. Like we've said so many other times in this show, simply breathtaking. Well, that'll do it for this week's edition of The Extra. Next week, we return to the Queen City of Charlotte, where we'll start crowning some state champions in volleyball, golf, tennis, and boys and girls cross country. Certainly don't want to miss that. Don't forget about our website. That's www.highschoolextra.com, www.highschoolextra.com. You can follow our busy schedule, plus pass along any story ideas you might have for us. So for everybody at The Extra, I'm Kevin Conley. We'll see you next week.
High School Extra is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and by Wendy's, proud sponsor of high school athletics.
Hi, I'd like to start getting home delivery of the Sunday New York Times.
Now you can enjoy Sunday even more by getting the New York Times delivered to your home every weekend. And when you call now, you'll get 50% off the regular home delivery price.
I enjoy waking up and having the Sunday New York Times waiting for me. I know it'll tell me things that I won't hear, read, or see anywhere else.
I get international and cultural news, and I get a jump on the week ahead.
Call now to order, and you'll get the book review, travel, arts and leisure, week in review, and the New York Times Magazine.
On Sunday mornings, we catch up on what we really love. She goes straight for arts and leisure. I check out the magazine.
So call now to enjoy the Sunday New York Times for 8 weeks with home delivery at 50% off.
Hi, I'd like to start getting the Sunday New York Times at home. I think the only thing I enjoy more than doing the crossword puzzle is actually finishing it.
Call now, 1-800-496-2453, and get the Sunday New York Times delivered to your home every weekend.
For me, Sunday was made for the New York Times.
Put on your dancing boots and kick up your heels.
This is it! The main event in country dance competition.
For the best in boot scooting, high step, and whirlwind country dancing as couples compete for $15,000 in cash and prizes when TNN presents the 3rd annual Country Dance Invitational.
Turn me around just like a spinning wheel.
It's a classic country showdown November 17th from TNN.
On Time Warner Cable.